Hi everyone, hope you're well. Yeah, I've always said that I want to be honest on my channel no matter how kind of inconvenient that is. So yeah, whenever someone's told me that they've bought or they're buying a heated jacket, my response has always just been, oh, okay. But in my mind I've always kind of thought, oh you wuss. Like seriously, just buy a jumper or put on a thermal, you know. But you know, I'm a fair kind of guy, and in order to have a fair opinion on something, you've got to experience both sides of it. So out of the goodness of my own heart, just for you guys, I decided to spend £200 of my wife's hard-earned money on a heated jacket, just so I could test it out and see what it's like. So I went for the Keis heated jacket, the premium version, which is actually the cheapest one. This one's £200. The next one up is the Ultraflex, which is £220. That's more of a stretch base layer, I do believe. And then there's the Extreme, which is £240, which from what I can tell is pretty much a kind of more efficient version of this one. Not there's anything wrong with this one that I've found. The chest area, both like arms and the collar are all heated. So yeah, I've worn it a couple of times now, and I just thought I'd give my sort of thoughts and opinions on it. Oh, I love it. I hate to admit it, it's so nice. It really is so nice. There's a lot of advantages to it. You don't have to have a thermal inside your jacket, like the thermal lining. You don't have to wear a jumper. All I wear underneath this is either a t-shirt or a kind of long sleeved, very thin top. Apparently you're not supposed to have bare skin against the inside, which I find a bit strange considering the collars are heated. But I've worn it with just a t-shirt and it's no problem at all. There's obviously the little pockets there, well they're not pockets, but you can have the cables for the heated gloves, and then you've got similar at the bottom to connect into the trousers if you have those. And then there is the little control which is in there, so that can come down underneath your jacket, and you just got basically three modes: hot, medium, and I wouldn't say cool, but the coolest setting of them all. I tend to only ride with it on setting 1. I did have it on setting 2 today because we was going across Dartmoor, and it was probably around 5 degrees, so around sort of 0 degrees once you're taking into account the wind. The only sort of downside or annoying thing that I've had really is the cable that connects down into the, you know, you connect the other cable to the motorbike, to the battery. And I think it's just the way that I've set it up, but if the cable is long enough for me to stand up without this coming disconnected, then if it does come disconnected, it is dangling like this far away from my chain. So I need to really basically just run that wire or that cable in a different route, or get it coming out of the front of my seat possibly, so that I've just got enough to stand up but not enough for it to, you know, dangle down dangerously close to the chain. They do sell a separate battery for this, so you don't have to connect it to the motorbike. The battery is £90, 90. I don't lick windows for a living or for a pastime, so I'm probably more likely actually to take the battery out my motorbike and just carry it around under my arm, or just sit with it by a campfire or something, rather than spend 90 quid on a battery. But you know, each to their own. The battery would be more convenient, I must admit, because then I wouldn't have the unplugging problem, but yeah, I mean the jacket's 200, the battery's 90, I just think that's a bit crazy. But yeah, the underneath, I mean this is a medium. If I went for a small, I think it would have been too small. It's a tiny bit bulky underneath my jacket, only in the sort of elbow area. But it's minuscule, and it's not something that's really restrictive. You can just feel it, but you know, it's probably no more bulky than putting on a couple of layers or something. But I do highly recommend them. If you've been toying with the idea of getting one, it is a lovely thing to have, and it's just the fact that when it isn't even turned on, it's still very warm, 'cause it's windproof. so it's still nice and warm under the jacket, and then you can just regulate. You don't have to stop and pull over and take off jumpers, put them on, you know, undo your vents and do them up and all that. You can just turn it up, turn it down, turn it off. So yeah, opinion has been changed, I must admit. My wife's getting a Christmas bonus soon, so I might get one of the others and review that for you. We'll see. But yeah, I hope that's been helpful, and yeah, I do definitely recommend it. So you take care of yourselves, and hope to see you soon. All right, bye bye.